I did everything you said, and my first sales, I sold 7 condos with having a license in 2 weeks.
You're watching the Hersh Condos Digital Experience.
I'm your host this week, Jody Litvak, and beside me, I am sitting with entrepreneur and superstar sales representative from City Point Realty. It's Tony Bisceglia. How you doing, Tony?
Hey, Jody, I'm great. Thank you for having me on.
Well, I got to tell you, this is a bit of an honor for me. I'm every now and then.
It's an honor for me.
Well, I'll tell you.
Be here. Thank you.
We met just about a year ago, and we're going to get into that story as we get into our conversation today. I want to start off by just giving our viewers and our listeners a little bit of a well-rounded view on who you are, because every day I learn a new thing about who you are. I thought you were just this sharp shooting real estate agent out there, and then you find out that Tony's, I'm not going to give it away, Tony. I'm going to let you. So please tell me about the many hats you wear.
We'll keep them in suspense. Well, you know what? I'm a jack of all trades, really. That's what I like to call myself. I've been involved with every kind of entrepreneurial venture that I can imagine. And real estate, though, is my passion. It started really young. It started really when I was about 13 years old, and I invested $2,500 into a commercial real estate project with a cousin and a brother of mine who said, "Hey, you got any money in the bank there?" And I had been working since a young kid. Back in the day, there were no child labor laws, so I was working since I was 10 in restaurants, pizzerias, like you name it, anything to scrap together some money. Delivering newspapers. People don't even remember that newspapers used to get delivered to your home. I was doing that at 8 years old. So I'd saved up some money, and that was my first real estate investment. I was in love with real estate ever since. And I started investing very young. I owned my first property at 18 years old in my name. So it went on from there. Unfortunately, in hindsight, and they say, Monday morning quarterbacks, I wish I had gotten into real estate professionally from a young age, but I didn't. I veered off, went into another career path. I actually got into education, and I became a teacher initially, really not because it was something that I wanted to do. It was, I gotta say, to please my parents, my Italian immigrant parents, who said I had to have a profession. So at the end of the day, I went into something that they felt was stable, a secure job, government job, which made them happy. It didn't really make me happy, but believe it or not, I stayed in it for 25 years.
Wow.
While doing real estate on the side. But I've been involved in all sorts of business, the restaurant business, nightclub business, sports franchises. I still have other businesses as well. But believe it or not, I'm still a high school principal too. So
it's mind-boggling. I mean, you list out all the things. I mean, every kid grows up and gets the newspaper route and all of those things. But that formula of doing and getting your feet wet and your hands wet in a bunch of different industries that you can bring your skills and sort of tie them from one to the next, and you pick up one over here, you put it down in real estate. I think that's quite fascinating. I mean, I kind of had this question slated for later in our conversation, but I have to ask, how do you manage your day?
So I don't sleep a lot. Everyone asks me that. I sleep probably 4 or 5 hours a night, and I think that's just me because I've never needed a lot of sleep.
I'm similar.
So some people, it depends on your body type, metabolism, whatever it is. I don't sleep much. And I enjoy working. And when they say, if you enjoy doing something, it's not work, it's absolutely true. I just spent the long weekend staging a condo downtown, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. And, we completed a video, and I just spent the weekend doing that. And it's something that I really enjoy and love, and I'm passionate about, and I think it comes through in what I do. And people see that, and my clients see that. And, they let me know that one of the reasons they list with me or that they buy with me is because they see how passionate I am.
And you're a family man as well, correct?
Got 4 kids. I have triplets and a single, a 13-year-old. So, I'm their soccer coach. So I'm round the clock. People tell me, time management, that's probably my number one skill. I'm able to multitask and manage my time super effectively. And those are 2 skills that in today's world, I believe, to be successful, you've got to sort of hone in on them and master those skills. They're critical skills.
When I first met you about a year ago, it was at one of our seminars. Yeah. We were launching Charisma 2 up in Vaughan. That day, I don't necessarily think we connected, but I do remember...
because you guys are so busy. The best pre-construction brokerage in the city, and it's true. You guys put on an event like no other. I gotta give you kudos for that. You guys have mastered that. It's fantastic.
Thank you, Tony. But where I was going with that, I may have not seen you or noticed you on that day, but I totally remember giving a quick 5-minute talk just about the simplicity of using social media for the real estate market, and especially agents. And a lot of people hadn't necessarily taken that step. And interestingly enough, a couple of days passed after that, and you started to pop up quite frequently on our feeds. There were stories, there were posts, and at that moment I turned to the office and I said, "Who's this toe-nosed guy, and what is what's up?" And everybody's like, I don't know. It was his first time at the seminar, but it was interesting. I did research. I checked. I'm like, okay, well, how long has this guy had an Instagram account? He opened it 2 weeks ago, right? Like it was like that. It was like October 29th. Right. I'm like, his first post, guys, is October 16th, 2019. That was 2 weeks ago. And now he's writing deals, and we're starting to see things come in. And as those 2 weeks from the seminar to the actual date of the sale came together, I really started to learn a lot more about you and was quite fascinated. So Tony, what was it that really propelled you to start the train motion going on social media?
So I had been buying pre-construction condos myself for over a decade with my broker, Tador. And Tador says to me, "Listen, you got to come to the seminar. You just got your license." And I had literally just gotten my license, I think the day I opened that Instagram account. And he's like, "You'd be perfect. You got to come to Hersh. They put on these seminars. They teach you everything." And when I came to the seminar, he was 100% right. It clicked because you got what I had been thinking, and you were telling me exactly what I wanted to do. And you walked us through it. You made it very simple. I think anyone can follow the formula because you have the formula and you hand it over to the agents. So for me, when I came and I sat down, I just absorbed everything that you said. Mitch was presenting. I remember that. You were there, and even just the office itself, having a studio in the office. This is a 21st century brokerage. This is what I want to be part of. And I told Tador, I said, "Tador, you brought me to the right place." I said, "We're going to make stuff happen here." So I said, "Listen, us and Hersh together, we're an unstoppable combination." I said, "Listen, we're going to make things happen." And I love the digital approach because I think it is the real 21st century mode of advertising. The old days of advertising in classified sections, like I said, are over. Those little tiny ads in the classifieds, they're gone. So digital advertising is the way. I started following Gary Vee in 2007 when he just got onto YouTube Wine Library. So I had sort of through osmosis been absorbing all of this for years, building up to the point where I could finally utilize what Gary Vee and yourself and all these digital marketers had been saying and put it into practice. And then when I met you and I was here at the Hersh seminar, I said, "This is it. This is the time it's going to happen." And I did everything you said. And my first sales, well, I sold 7 condos with having a license in 2 weeks. So
we
it
couldn't
worked.
believe it. You are a full testament to what it is we tell the agents to do. We want to make it easy. Because it is. And
you do. It's step by step. Can't get any easier than what you provide. It's a testament to Hersh and your formula. And like you said, you package it and you put it on a silver platter. Any agent just has to follow your simple formula step by step, and they can do exactly what I did if they just follow that formula.
But you didn't stop after Charisma stopped. And I have seen, because we do follow thousands of agents on Instagram. I've seen the trend where you post while you have something and then you sit stagnant while there's nothing going on. And being that consistency is crucial in being an active member of the social media community. What is it that agents can do while they might not have a project that they're working on? How do you fill that stagnant time?
I think that's an amazing point you just brought up. We don't always need to post informational or factual social media content. We can post entertaining things. And I think people like seeing a variety. And I think people like getting to know who the real you is. And that's why I'll have some personal posts sometimes. And people say, "Oh, wow, there you are at a soccer game with your kids." They get to see the real me. A friend of mine gave me a great piece of advice the other day, and being on social media, you expose yourself, you expose your vulnerabilities, you expose your strengths, and they said, "You know what? Not everyone is going to like you, and if you can just accept that you're going to have people who will like you and people who won't, you'll have fun on social media." Totally. And I've totally accepted that. And, not everybody, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and I have no problem, saying to people, "Hey, if I'm not your cup of tea, someone else is." I do want to give a shout out to someone who I think does an amazing job, and he's here at Hersh all the time, is Neil from Toronto Condos. He posts great stuff. Like he's asking questions, taking questions. That's the type of stuff that people should be doing. So I would say for any new agent, I'm a new agent, although I've got a lot of experience as an investor and an entrepreneur in other areas, I would say come to the Hersh seminar. You'll walk them through it, even if they've had zero exposure to social media, and then they just got to take it and run. It's that easy.
To wrap things up here, because we haven't really had a moment to get into the state of our world right now and how COVID-19 is affecting us. So with COVID being a real thing in our world, how has that affected your business, and where do you see the business and the market going?
So, Jody, I'm going to tell you, 2020 has been one of the best years financially of my life. Not just with real estate. I pivoted when when COVID hit, and I went to other areas of business. I started a PPE business. I think we are very fortunate to be in Canada, and Toronto especially. Incredible country, fantastic city. Everybody in the world wants to come to Toronto. So I'm very long, and I think the future is bright for Toronto. I think, real estate wise, you got to look at things long term. Where are we going to be in 4, 5, 6, 10 years? I'm going to tell you where we're going to be. There's going to be a population explosion because the world wants to come here. There's a lack of supply when it comes to condominium projects. There's not enough shelter for people coming to this country. We're seeing it right now. I just saw on the news today that real estate is at record high levels in July. Toronto real estate went up 30% because of the demand, right? So we don't have enough supply. It's simple economics, people, supply and demand. We don't have enough supply of shelter here in the Toronto area, in Canada in general, to meet the demands of all the immigrants and the population boom that's happening here in our country and city. So go long on real estate. I'm super confident. Interest rates are incredibly low, and they will be for the next couple of years. Buy condos, and pre-construction especially, because pre-construction, you're forecasting into the future, 3-4 years, where are we going to be? And in 3-4 years, we'll be through this, we'll be through COVID, and you'll be glad that you bought in 2020 when there was a lot of uncertainty. The time to jump into the fire for real estate is when times are uncertain. This is the best time to buy.
Well, what do you think is the biggest mistake someone could make right now?
People sit on their hands, get nervous, dwell, watch the news too much. They watch the bad news, unfortunately, and they're not thinking often and looking at the facts. The facts are, like I said, Canada is a growing country. Look at the demographics. Baby boomers are starting to downsize and buy condos. Young people, millennials, want to get into their first real estate investment, and they're buying condos. So we're win-win at both ends of the spectrum. You've got these young people buying condos, older people downsizing into condos. It's a great investment. And it's not like a stock, which is a piece of paper and you don't actually have an earning until you sell it. Real estate is bricks and mortar. At the end of the day, it's something that will be there for hundreds, if not thousands of years. It's generational wealth because you could pass that on to your kids, your grandkids. So it is the wisest investment that anyone could make.
Tony, it has been an honor and a pleasure, and I can't thank you enough for taking the time to come out and speak with us today. I really feel that our viewers and listeners are going to get a huge amount of value, and more importantly, I hope that they're inspired by your stories.
Thank you.
I hope that your story shows people you can just pick it up and start doing it. I think there's a fair amount of passion and drive that need to come from that person to put that plan in motion. But thank you for being a living true testament of what good hard work
thank
can
you.
do.
I got to tell you, Hersh Condos has inspired me. Listen, your brokerage, just with this studio setup and everything that you do, you are truly a 21st century brokerage, pre-construction brokerage. If I were a builder developer, I'd be working and doing business with you for sure.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Tony. Well, that's it here. I'm Jody Litvak, and I hope you have a great day.
Thanks for watching the Hersh Condos digital experience. Stay tuned for more exciting content. Subscribe to our channel and make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms.